I just talked to Vince and he told me that we should be speaking in Polish, but I think we'll do it in English.
Możemy rozmawiać po polsku, ale wiem, że ona nie będzie mogła zrozumieć, więc możemy rozmawiać po angielsku.
What the
There's this problem with pluribus for me, which means that it's very difficult to talk about the show.
I know.
Every sentence you say is a spoiler, so it's difficult to talk with other people about it. So I wonder, do you have a way of squaring this circle, the way of speaking about the show? How would you simply describe it for the viewer?
And I apologize. It is hard. In about a month, it'll get a lot easier to talk about. But I always pitched it to people as the most miserable person on earth feels a need to save the world from happiness. And it is a story of a woman, a very reluctant hero who finds herself in the first episode at the cusp of a whole new world. The world undergoes a great change in the first episode, and our main character, Carol Sturka, played by Ray Seahorn, is very, very scared and very troubled by what has happened to the world. I've been amazed that we have kept the secrets of this show for as long as we have. We were writing it for a year or two before that. And I'm very proud of our crew and our cast for being so tight-lipped. It's tough to talk about it now, but I think that pays dividends. I'd like to think the audience will enjoy it more if they go into it knowing less.
And even more so than Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, this is a one-man show or one-woman show in this case. What are the advantages and disadvantages of having your character be present on the screen like 98% of the time?
It's the way I tend to think in terms of story. I try to see show through one person's eyes because that's easier for me to imagine. I'm not very good with ensemble. The downside of that for Ray Seahorn is that she is in just about every scene of every episode. So the show was exhausting for her to make. She was up for the challenge and she never complained. She was always cheerful. I think the show really exhausted her. I hope you get to talk to her, and I hope you get to talk to Karolina because you guys should do your interview in Polish. You need to put her to work. They're such wonderful actors, both of them, and I love them both so much. I had worked with Ray for years. I had never met Karolina, and they have such wonderful chemistry together. They're so good together.
I just talked to Vince and he told me that we should be speaking in Polish, but I think we'll do it in English.
Możemy rozmawiać po polsku, ale wiem, że ona nie będzie mogła zrozumieć, więc możemy rozmawiać po angielsku.
Yeah, okay, so I need you to help me because Pluribus is a very difficult show to talk about.
Even if you could say all the spoilers, it would still be a very difficult show to describe.
Yeah. I think you can't. It's really hard to. You have to go on the journey with it because there's just so much with it, with every episode and everything. You discover so many different turns, and it's constantly changing and moving.
But my family has seen nothing. They know nothing, and I've told them it's Vince using sci-fi, going back to sci-fi roots of X-Files, psychological sci-fi to create this prism to look at the human condition and human nature through and ask very large questions while maintaining an often heart-pounding, suspenseful plot that is also sometimes hilarious and keeps taking turns and does reward you for sitting forward. Answer. I think that's too long for a tagline, but I'll tell him. I'll tell him.
In a way, you're combining your previous experiences, like science fiction background from X-Files with the setting of Breaking Bad. Was it conceived as such? Like, did you want it to make it Gilliganian to the nth degree?
I don't really think in those terms. I start with a character, and I was intrigued by this character. Originally, the character was a man, and then I got to know Ray Seahorn from Better Call Saul, and I loved her so much. I said, I'm going to make this show about a woman, and I'm going to write it for Ray because I love her so much, and she's so talented. And I've never looked back from that decision. She's even better in the show than I thought she would be. But I started with character, as I typically do. I didn't set out to write another science fiction story, although having said that, I love science fiction. I gravitate toward doing it. If you had told me 25 years ago I'd be known more for writing a crime drama, a drama about drug dealers, I would have been very surprised. I would have said, no, I'm more of a science fiction comedy guy. But you kind of go where the characters take you.
I think what's interesting is the fact that you get to play opposites in a way. One of you is angry and frustrated all the time, and the other one is kind and understanding all the time. Which emotion is more difficult to stay in all the time of these two?
That's a good question. I think they're both
as an actor.
I think they're both challenging.
Yeah, they're
both challenging, both exciting, right? And I think it's.
I think the content and happy is more challenging than people might expect, though.
I think it's more not going on the journey, emotional journey with you inside the scene. That's what's difficult. Not reciprocating the feelings.
Right, and to have such a different agenda while listening to Carol that can't look like Evil Genius agenda.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean,
they both have their challenges.
There's definitely some scenes that we did that they're physically challenging to stay that upset for super long periods of time. But it's worth it. You want to play those moments as authentically as you can.